Siguran sam da se slažete sa mnom, Saška izgleda prelijepo. Kumi također izgledaju sjajno i da nazdravim kumama što su radili tako dobar posao i brinuli se u njoj.
I'd also like to thank the ushers, Sandra and Jajan, for turning up sober. And I know Ian and Alex had a huge dilemma when selecting a couple of guys to take on the extremely difficult task of telling people where to sit. However, they've done a lot more than that, I know that. But I hope you're all happy with where you are in the room, and I certainly am, so thank the ushers.
Također se zahvaljujem Dražanu i Saši što su se pojavili trijezni. Saška i Ian su se dvoumili koga da uposle da vam pokaže gdje da sjednete, kao i ostali poslovi koji su radili. Pa se nadam da ste zadovoljni sa svojom pozicijom, ja lično jesam.
In addition, I'd like to thank the three lovely flower girls, Mia, Zara and Eva, and the excellent page boy, Dorian, if he's in here.
Which is still outside.
Forget that. For all the help and support they have provided to Ian and Alex. We knew you would be brilliant, and you were.
Hvala malim djevojčicama Mi, Zari i Ivi. I također hvala Dorianu, dobro odrađen posao, svaka čast.
Ian and Alex have also asked me to thank all the staff here for all the hard work ensuring today went as smoothly as possible. So here's a very big thank you to staff here.
Ine i Saška su me zamolili da se posebno zahvalim svom osoblju ovdje u Malom raju, što su učinili da dan glatko prođe i velika vam hvala.
Well, it was of course a great honour to be chosen as best man. But from the moment Ian asked me, it was clear that the best man speech was going to be the most challenging part of the day. Actually, the most challenging part of my life. If only because I have to select a mere handful from the wealth of embarrassing stories which I could choose from.
Velika mi je čast što sam izabran da budem kum. Čim sam dobio ovaj posao, znao sam da će pisanje ovog govora biti nekakav izazov. Skoro najveći izazov u mom životu. I valjalo je iz mora Ianovih neprijatnih momenata izabrati samo njih nekoliko i spomenuti ih danas.
So I had to prepare. I took my standard approach, and indeed most men's approach when faced with something they know nothing or little about. I checked the internet. However, I'm sure I'm not the only bloke in the room who's found far more interesting things to look at on the internet, so I didn't get very far.
Tako da sam se morao dobro potruditi u pripremi ovog govora. Uradio sam ono što većina muškaraca uradi kada traži rješenje za određeni problem. Otišao na internet. Ali kao i većina muškaraca našao sam puno zanimljivijih stvari na internetu od kumovog govora, tako da mi to nije dugo trajalo.
Fortunately, as I met Ian at secondary school, when we were both 12 years old, I didn't have to rely too much on the internet or indeed family, friends to dish dirt if I wanted to. I wouldn't do that to you. I did though speak to a few people, and many of their stories involved women, sex, intrigue and suspense. Fantastic, perfect, until I realised Ian wasn't involved in these stories. So. No, actually there are many good stories, and but I value my life, so I'm going to be very selective on what I choose today.
Srećom, pošto Ina znam od srednje škole, kada nam je bio 12 godina, nisam se morao oslanjati ni na internet, ni prijatelje, ni porodicu da bi skupio ove anegdote.
Okay. So, what can I say about my best friend Ian?
Šta vam mogu reći o mom najboljem prijatelju Ianu?
As a child,
Oh no.
Ian was a great animal lover. Not in that way, I hasten to add. We're not that he ever admitted anyway. However, he did have difficulty being master of a small, quite yappy dog. There was, I'm told this by your people that you trust. There was one particularly memorable occasion where Ian was sitting on the couch, desperate for the toilet, and yet trembling with fear. Every attempt to move made Patch growl ferociously. Patch being dog. You can imagine the bad ending.
How old was he? 30. Kao dijete Ian je jako volio životinje, ali ne na perverzan način, barem to nikad nije priznao. Imao je malo psa i dosta se mučio da ga kontroliše. Jednom prilikom Ian je sjedio na kauču i morao je hitno u toalet. A svaki put kad je pokušao ustati, pas bi ljutito zarežao. Ian je od straha prestao pokušavati. I ta priča imala loš kraj.
As a schoolboy, Ian was top of the class at science and geography. I was, of course, top at everything else. Ian liked nothing better than to show off his knowledge. In fact, he repeatedly told me a story about a river near his grandparents' house that overflowed onto the road every 7 years like clockwork. However, it was therefore most unfortunate during a bike ride one sunny day that he managed to get his favourite river, was overflowing and fell into it and got completely soaked to the skin, whilst I remembered and remained dry.
U školi Ian je bio najbolji u nauci i geografiji. Ja sam naravno bio najbolji u svemu ostalom. Ian se volio hvalisati svojim znanjem. Često je spominjao činjenicu da u blizini kuće njegovih bake i dede postoji rijeka koja preplavi svaki 7 godina bez greške. Zato kada smo jednog sunčanog dana vozili bicikle pored te rijeke, zaboravio je tu činjenicu i upao u nabijalnu rijeku. A ja sam ostao suh jer mi je godinama kljucao mozak sa tom pričom.
In his late teens, Ian showed a real talent for driving cars. And as a recognition for his cool head and responsibility, he was given that greatest of privileges, being allowed to drive his mother's car. What a shame that he then crashed it into a lamppost, writing off the beloved Polo, whilst his younger brother Neil sat laughing beside him. After the crash, he got doubly lucky as he managed to get escorted, not arrested, home by the police in the manner of a low-ranking royal, who then went on to convince his mum that the incident was not his fault.
U kasnim tinejdžerskim godinama Ian je pokazivao poseban talenat za vožnju. Jednom prilikom njegova mama je htjela nagraditi njegovu prisebnost i odgovornost i posudila mu je svoj auto. Ian je taj dan mamin omiljeni Polo zabio u banderu i potpuno ga razlupao. Njegov brat Neil, koji je sjedio pored njega u autu, je bio ozlijeđen samo od silnog smijeha. Policija ga otpratila kući, ali ne u lisicama, i povrh svega uspio ubijediti mamu da nije bio njegova krivica. Nevjerovatno.
We're now moving to his late 20s, Ian's earning big money, and with that came the generosity for which he is so noted. However, I have a conflicting report from a guest, which has been given to me in the strictest confidence, but I will share it with you all now. Imagine the scene. Ian is invited to dinner hosted by a good friend. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that this friend is called Jess. Like any good guest, Ian brings a bottle of wine. However, after presenting this wine to his host, he's stricken with the chill of horror as he realises it's the wrong bottle. A fine wine that would be frankly wasted on the palate of someone like his host. However, instead of staying silent and quietly simmering with annoyance, as most guests would do, he asked to swap the bottles round so he could keep the most expensive bottle for himself.